Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Anthony Welfare here on Twitter giving us the most recent update from Andorra. I met with Ferran Prat 12 from our partner Peersys. Now we know Ripple did just recently form a partnership with Peersys to look at the artwork NFT from XRP Studio. The scan is verifying the digital chip and the NFT QR code. Very cool to see the XRPL being used for real-world assets and verifying the NFT on the XRP ledger. Guys, take a look at this, a little sample of what is yet to come on the XRP ledger. Well, I mean, it's happening right now.
Yes, it will work now. So you verify the private key, and the private key can be found on the NFT.
So just a little sample there, and Anthony Welfare wanted to share that with us. More use cases on the XRP ledger is going to create more utility down the road for XRP. If you guys didn't catch the video I did this morning, the QSI panel was talking a little bit about the LIBOR and SOFR changes that are going to be happening and how the BRICS countries are maybe inadvertently, or I don't know, maybe on purpose, going to be pushing other countries for tokenized assets. So being able to trade essentially using the blockchain. If a country is rich in diamonds, well, it can trade diamonds for a country that is rich in oil or rich in gold or whatever that particular country has. So if you guys didn't see that video, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. And it's going to be done on the XRP ledger. These guys were talking about it being done on the XRP ledger. It was already confirmed by SBI Asia. So again, just another use case for XRP. We know banking is one of the big use cases. This just came out the other day. Banks are becoming museums of technology, says ex-Barclays boss. So this is Anthony Jenkins. He has labeled banks as being museums of technology. The companies or the banks who have failed to properly embrace true digital transformation and are consequently shedding huge numbers of customers to more nimble tech-first rivals. This is what DLT technology and companies like Ripple have now made a reality. Banks are now democratized. They can take on a lot more customers because the technology is so much better, and we're seeing the bigger banks floundering, especially those who are remaining stubborn, who do not want to change. And this is what the ex-Barclays CEO said, okay? The former group CEO of Barclays and founder of core banking startup 10X was speaking on the release of research conducted among 150 senior decision makers and more than 150 product managers, business analysts, and product managers at banks across 8 markets. The study found that banks across the globe are shedding large numbers of customers. 1 in 8 bank leaders, okay, so that's 12%, state that they have lost 30 to 40% of their existing customers due to poor customer experience. Across the board, customer attrition rates are running at 20%. So commenting on the findings, Jenkins has said, over my career, I have learned banking is about customers, but the reality is most of the banking industry has overlooked what matters, taking a product-focused approach rather than focusing on the customer. Not only do senior decision makers within banks recognize they are losing valuable customers, but 2/3, about 64%, admit that their slow rate of digital transformation has directly resulted in them missing out on winning new customers. So, the exact thing that we were assuming would happen has now happened. The banks too slow to adopt the technology because they are of the mentality, well, why would we pay all this money to take a big risk? None of our competitors are doing it. It still does ring true. Nobody wants to be the first, but everybody is clamoring to be the second. And we heard these words back in 2018, 2019. I don't know how long you guys have been with me, but we have heard these words before, and now we're actually seeing it come to fruition. It's funny how, you hear things, you remember things, and then when you actually see it happen years later, it's kind of like a wow moment, seeing it actually happen. Those guys who were saying that back then were right. And Brad Garlinghouse was one of them. So here's a quote. Banks often mistake transformation for innovation. Innovation is a linear series of marginal improvements, whereas true transformation is a non-linear step change in improvements, beginning with a material improvement in customer experience. Many banks might convince themselves that releasing an app or going digital means that they have been on a journey of transformation, but the reality is that very few banks are undergoing true change at their core. And, this is why we're going to see banks become museums of technology in the coming years. The democratization of payments via, tools like the XRP ledger are going to really be a game changer, guys. And we're seeing it happen. Even, the heads of banks are realizing it, the ones that are on the forefront of change. Mike Manfield here, also bringing this to our attention. So A16Z Crypto, okay, or Anderson Horowitz, the venture capital fund dedicated to crypto and Web3 startups, has chosen the UK as its first overseas office outside of the United States. So these guys are a huge venture capital fund. They were pivotal too in funding Ripple at the beginning stages. The VC was attracted to the UK by its regulatory regime, which has embraced the crypto and Web3 economy in a bid to stamp out the casino culture that has tarnished the industry. So they are realizing, okay, let's move to a jurisdiction, or at least let's open up another office in another jurisdiction that is very crypto friendly. And so they are choosing now the United Kingdom. In a blog post announcing the move, the firm states, while there is still work to be done, we believe that the UK is on the right path to becoming a leader in crypto regulation. The UK also has deep pools of talent, world-leading academic institutions, and a strong entrepreneurial culture. It is home to more unicorns than Germany, France, and Sweden combined, to some of the world's largest financial markets and pools of capital, and to highly sophisticated world-class regulators. All of these make the UK strongly positioned to lead in Web3. So they're not messing around. I mean, they've done their research. They know, where the regulatory environment is clear. And in the United States, I'm sure they were seeing roadblocks. They were seeing a lot of hurdles that they still had to jump through. And, it wasn't, as a company, you got to kind of move with where the market is. And, if you are into innovation, if you're into crypto, if you're into Web3, you got to go to regulated markets. And this is why, there are so many critics in the United States saying, and have been saying this now for months and maybe years, that, if the United States doesn't step up, if there are no changes that are made, and if guys like Gary Gensler continue with his ridiculous campaign to squash crypto, it is not going to look good for the United States. And this is just an example of that. Companies, not that they're moving out of the United States, but they have chosen to open a new office in the UK for that exact reason. Cryptocurrency adoption. I mean, they even say, the regulations in the UK are not perfect, but they are on the right track. We know we can trust that they are probably going to make the right decisions moving forward. So this is where we have decided to set up shop next. So again, a big VC company, pivotal in helping Ripple get off the ground, now moving to the UK. Wanted to thank Mike for posting that. But I think part of the problem is that Congress needs to step up as well. John Deaton also bringing this to our attention. Everyone needs to remember the SEC calling an asset a security does not mean it is a security. Here's the SEC admitting that the court decides if the SEC's claim or theory is even valid. This was the SEC's response to my writ of mandamus, and so he highlights this part here. Thus, the Commission's enforcement proceeding in the Southern District of New York, brought under the Securities Act, supplies the exclusive method for testing the validity of the Commission's complaint against Ripple. Guys, it is up to Congress. It is not up to the SEC. They do not have a say in what it is. They do not have a say in what it means. It is Congress who decides these rules, and this is why, you've got two sides of the aisle. Unfortunately, some of those guys have been captured as well. We've, talked a little bit about Elizabeth Warren, her question and answer period with Gary Gensler, and how they were essentially colluding, making the questions easy to answer so that Gary Gensler wasn't taken by surprise. And I did that video a few months ago. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll link it up here if you guys didn't catch that. So just, more to this story here. But it is good. I mean, at least the SEC does not have full control. And I mean, I don't know. Is Ripple doing this on purpose? Or is it just a coincidence? Tim here on Twitter at TimR614 posted this. Okay, this was an observation by Eleanor Turret. Fox journalist spots Ripple billboards around SEC headquarters in New York City. In the latest development, Eleanor Turret, a Fox Business journalist, took to Twitter to draw attention to the Ripple billboards, which were positioned in the least expected spots, considering the pending SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Ripple's billboards with captions, "We're building a better future for finance, are you?" was placed right opposite the United States Security and Exchange Commission SEC office entrance from Union Station in New York City. There are a couple of Ripple billboards, says Turret, up here on Union Station. I made reference to them in my article from March. However, this one, which is right opposite the entrance to the SEC, says, "We're building a better future in finance. Are you?" So there you go. There is the Ripple billboard and the entrance right there to the SEC. I think that's what it is, or maybe that's, I don't know. I'm not familiar with Union Station in New York. Nevertheless, it is pretty funny to see all these Ripple billboards, considering they are still in court fighting the good fight. But guys, I mean, tomorrow is the day, June 13th. We're going to be, getting those Hinman emails. And I think we probably will have a lot to talk about tomorrow. I think we're feeling it. I seriously do. I think we're feeling it in the air. The end is near, guys. Is this the final countdown? Fojack here on Twitter posting this, bringing it back to guess who? Everyone's favorite bear, Bearableguy123, Elon Musk posted this, okay, best World War III song ever, it's the final countdown. Okay, making a bit of a joke here. He posted this yesterday. Now, I mean, we know Elon Musk and Peter Thiel do have connections to Ripple and XRP. I've done videos on this in the past, and I'll see if I can find one. I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner. The fact that he's posting this, though, I mean, okay, it's a fairly innocuous tweet, I'm going to admit. But when you couple that with what Bearableguy has been posting years ago now, it seems as though it's all making sense. The snowball banner from, I don't know, 2019, 2020. And do you guys remember these musical notes? We were trying to figure out what they meant. And I don't know if somebody actually figured it out or not. I went down here and it looks as though Fojack did post this back in September of 2021. It's the final countdown. And if you look at these notes really carefully here and compare them to the Bearableguy banner here, you can see these notes. Now, I don't know how many of you guys read music, but right over here, these notes are the exact same as the notes for the final countdown, and same with these. This cluster of notes over here, you can see that here matches identically to the Bearableguy snowball riddle. So the final countdown is here. Elon Musk is saying it. At XRP Army asking, are we almost there yet? 589, says Rainman XRP. I think we are getting very, very close, guys. Keep your eyes on the prize. Do you remember that Bearableguy riddle? Just knowing chances still exist in this world for regular people to have a possibility of changing their lives because of XRP, and Ripple's auspicious plans makes life bearable and fun. Keep your eye on the prize. Now, the other thing he's noticing here is keep your eye on the prize. Does that mean something here? Well, Fojack also happened to post this, okay, in the background pattern of fine concentric circles. On the front of former Bank of England Elgar 20-pound notes, they appear as green heads of musical notes. Now, what he's referring to here is the old 20-pound note, and you guys can see the musical notes here. So that certainly does connect. But then AutoFen here also noticed this. I recognize those security patterns found on banknotes. Again, this was back from 2021. And what is this, guys? EURion Constellation. Keep your eye on the prize. These are a pattern of symbols incorporated into a number of secure documents, such as banknotes, checks, and ownership title certificate designs worldwide since about 1996. It is added to help imaging software detect the presence of such a document in the digital image. Such software can then block the user from reproducing banknotes to prevent counterfeiting using color photocopiers. And you guys can also see them here on the $20 note too. Okay, similar patterns. This is for banknotes. So is this another hint from Bearableguy? Another connection? Keep your eye on the prize. Well, we know the Bank of England is heavily connected to RippleNet. And the final countdown, not to mention another clue uncovered. Yeah, there's 5 dots, 8 dots, and 9 dots here respectively. And Bearableguy has been hinting at this for years now. How close are we? How far are we now? 3, 2, 1. Let's go to the moon, guys. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.